Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom podcast. Today, we continue action movies galore, and this week is The Raid. It premiered at TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, on September 8th, 2011. It was written and directed by Gareth Evans. I am Colton Robertson. I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. We got an interesting one today. This is talk about action for action's sake.
Yeah, pure action. Felt like very stunt heavy, led by a stunt team. Is Gareth Evans a
not a stunt man,
no?
but
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
but these performers are known for their ability in the martial arts. This movie is led by Iko Uwais, I apologize if I am butchering that name. I feel like it was right. But Iko Uwais is a stuntman and an actor. I actually became familiar with him a few years back through a Netflix series called Wu Assassins, which was just he was the lead and he was a badass who did awesome martial arts. So, and he was actually also in The Force Awakens, along with the gentleman who plays Mad Dog. They're in the same gang who raids Han Solo's ship and is the guy's
Tell
opposite.
that's a Concha Club. Yeah, the other
Concha Club.
It's Concha
the other
Club.
group. Yeah,
Yeah,
they might be Concha Club. I think they're
maybe
Concha
another
Club.
third party. I don't know.
Yeah,
Han
no.
got a lot of people, but
Yayan Ruhian, there with he was also in the Force Languages. Tasu Leech. He's like, Tasu Leech, buddy, what's up? So we got a couple Star Wars crossovers here, which was cool.
yeah.
I appreciated that a great deal. But yeah, no, I had a good time. It's going to be a simple discussion we have today. Not much to go on here.
Yeah. Yeah, at least it's nice whenever actors can just show off, because this is just some real talent here. Like, not a lot of humans on Earth can do these things. Like, this is a rare skill, and just to capture it on film, and the story I think is definitely the weakest part of the movie. It's just it's thrown in there, and it keeps you in for a little bit, and it makes the violence make sense. And I think that's what it was for. It's like, let's lock everyone in a building. If you even get near a window, you get blasted. So
Yeah.
it is just survive.
It's a fucking war. It's a fucking war over there. It's a war zone. And I mean, you obviously have one guy you're supposed to be rooting for. And it is our lead. I believe his name's Rama.
Yeah.
Yes. Good dude. He got a pregnant wife at home. He had to go on this assignment. Hopefully he makes it out. What I do enjoy about this movie is that I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. And I think that's it has its place. I had a great time. There were several times I went, oh, or, shit like that. I had fun, and I think that's what this movie's for. I don't think, when it comes to the movie they wanted to make, I think they made exactly the movie they wanted to make. I don't think they faltered anywhere they desired to make this movie good. And I think it benefits from that a great deal, of course. Whenever it comes to our ratings at the end of the episode, it'll be interesting because when it comes to what it was going for, I think it fucking nailed what it was going for.
Yeah.
I think the intention and the follow through pretty much spot fucking on. So you got to give it credit where it's due. I think it's fucking awesome too. It was so much fun to watch.
I think Mad Dogs, every time before a fight started, he was just it was just perfectly set up for a movie. Like, dude knew he was being filmed and they were about to start an epic fight sequence. The first cop, the captain, I don't know what what exactly his position was, but you know, I guess another. I didn't really care. Like, I think they tried to make you care for him, you know, a little bit, so that his death would mean something.
Talking about
Um,
Chaka,
yeah, I think so.
the one he's like, the guns, they're too quick, but
Yes,
this
yes,
I know.
yeah, the little Joker moment, you know, but not even knives, you know. This is
Yeah.
even slower, you know, even more personal. Just mano y mano. But no, yeah, I love how Mad Dog just every
I
time
fucking
before a
loved
fight.
Mad Dog.
Yeah, like every time he's just an honorable. Like he loved to fight. You know,
Hmm.
dude was about fighting. He loved it and
Bro was about that action. No, I enjoy. I think he's my favorite character in this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think it's true. I don't
I
know. I don't know who else. Like,
Oh, that's the thing, is that they all bring the fucking same thing to the table. You know, like they try to do something interesting with like the brother storyline and how Rama made it out. It seems like, or I can't tell if Rama made it out or his brother found his way in. I don't know,
yeah.
or if they just went separate directions and that's how it worked out. You know, because my favorite line of the movie is like one of the last ones, if not the last one, where he's like, "It just fits." You know, he's like, I'm here for the same reason that you wear that uniform. It just fits, you know? And like, I liked that sentiment. I thought it was a perfect way to like kind of encapsulate the essence of this movie too, you know, like again, I come back to it's not trying to be anything more than what it is. And I appreciate that. Like, for what this movie is trying to do, it just fits. So I liked that a great deal, and you know they tried to spice up the story there with that sort of twist, and you know with the lieutenant, the fuckhead lieutenant, old motherfucker
Oh
who
my god. What, like, you're supposed to hate the landlord crime, but what's the crime boss his name? Like, what's the evil, you know, the actual Tama?
yeah
Tama? Or Tama, Tama?
yeah
Um
Tama.
and so like you're supposed to hate this guy the most, you know, cuz we open the movie, he blasts four dudes in the head.
Not even close. Not even
Like,
close to my least favorite character in the
no,
movie.
it's oh god, this dude sucked. Like, whenever
Hmm.
his gun clicked, I knew it was gonna happen too. Like at the end, you know, whenever he's about to, you know, he has the gun pulled on himself, and I knew it
Hmm.
was about to click, and I'm just like, damn it. I'm like, of course he's out of ammo before it even happens, and I'm just,
Well, no, what pisses me off is that like if there was anyone in this movie who deserved a brutalized fucking death, it was that guy.
yeah, like, I like Jaka. Like, why did he have like? I feel like he deserved to go. I mean, he went out cool. You know, he got a whole fight
It was
sequence
a great
him.
fight sequence.
So
That's my
like,
favorite scene. That's my
yeah,
favorite scene of the movie.
I mean,
Was Jaka versus Mad Dog. That fight was fucking awesome. You know, I also love that. Like, if you're picking a favorite scene, you're essentially going, which was your favorite
yeah,
fight?
fight scene. Yeah,
Um,
which one is the best? The end. You know, it's not like a hard boiled situation where the end, like the hospital sequence, is just clearly the best one of the movie, and it's like they
mhm.
saved the best for last. The fight was cool and it was impressive at a lot of points, and but it was a little repetitive. Like, it was kind of like, okay, like, it's a 2v1 and
Oh
you're
yeah,
going at it,
they
but
even
like,
cut away from that fight in the middle of it
yeah,
for a sustained amount of time and then come back to it and it finishes.
like,
Um,
whoa, like,
I mean, it's awesome. It's cool action. It's really
mm-hmm,
cool stunt work, you know, like, and that's like
mm-hmm, it's
ultimately
impressive.
like, yeah, that's what they're going for. So like, I got to give it credit where it's due, you know, like, I will say it's not one that I am like desperate to ever watch again. Not because it was bad. It was solid. It was perfectly fine. I think that again, what it was going for, it nailed it. But if I'm gonna be like, I kind of want to watch The Raid again, I'm gonna go fuck it. There's a sequel that I've heard is better. I'm gonna watch The Raid 2.
Really, this is
Yes.
a better sequel situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's what sucked, is that I knew that coming into this when we made the list, but I didn't want to just cover Raid 2. Like, you kind of have to cover the first. Otherwise, I don't know, am I missing something? Is it so like that was the logic in picking the Raid. But yeah, I will probably check out the Raid 2 at some point. I've heard I've seen a clip from that.
A cool launching off point as well. We got some nice people left. We know their skill set. And I'm imagining some new people join in on the mix. I have no idea what the conflict is, I guess.
Yeah, it would be brand new. No, but whenever I looked up like stills for our graphic for the episode, there were like a lot of the Raid 2 as well from the same website that I do, and I'm like, wow, that movie looks a lot better. And that was before I watched the Raid. It like visually, it seems to picture wise be better looking.
I'm just wondering the budget difference.
Yeah, this one was 1.1 million.
4.5 million for the second one. So I mean, still not a whole lot, but four times
as much recent. 4 times as much resource. So like, that's got to help. But like, I thought, and I don't think this movie was ill shot. I think it was well shot. I thought the action sequences were impressively well done, not just choreography wise, but I loved the way that they were edited. I loved the violence of the camera. It felt like the camera jerked with the characters, and I felt like that is how it's supposed to be. They use the handheld cam, but it's not shaky to where I can't fucking see anything.
Yeah, it felt like they should, like, the shake was added in post. Like, the camera was smooth, but then they would add like smooth shake. Like like and then like impacts and stuff like that, and but man, was some of this like brutal. Like they were not shy of showing it either. So I mean like if you're into just some raw, just bloody killing, that
this has it in abundance.
Yeah. And one scene that I thought was creative, and I think I will go for it for my scene. I think it's Rama, I believe. I don't know who his buddy is. Dude who got like shot,
the dude
like
who got his ear shot off.
Like, up through the hip and then through the ear. It was, and like that just sucks.
I also thought that when he did get shot, it was cool that since he got shot in the ear, the sound cuts out. I thought that was a nice choice.
Yeah, that was cool. But this scene is, I guess they're in that room for a little bit. They're making their way out. And he's in a hallway, Rama, and he has to break out in a fight. And he's on like the wounded dude's on his back, and he's like still fighting and just whipping the dude around, and then eventually he just like kind of just pushes him to the ground, and then just absolutely just wipes everyone. And it was, I don't know, a pretty cool hallway scene. They had a few of those, a few of the just nice confined space, have the camera there, and sometimes it'll change directions, but a lot of the times it's just kind of uncut.
Yeah,
boom.
Let's
here
do the
you go.
Shit. Yeah, because I like I appreciate the confined space specifically when there's all sorts of dudes. It justifies the 1v20. They can't all attack him at the same time in a small hallway.
Yeah.
They have to take their turns.
It's not a John Wick where you can like pull one of these and have a bulletproof suit,
Exactly. But no, I mean, like my coolest kill that was just fucking gnarly came during that. Like we talked about this with Monkey Man several weeks back. The action where there were hits that just made you go, oh. Like, oh, you jump and you kind of groan. The first one that made me do that, it was pretty deep into the movie. I was like kind of expecting a lot of the stuff they did, but every once in a while, they'd fuck me up. Like the time they toss the dude, he tosses the dude over the edge, and you think he's just gonna fall all the way down, but then he just lands on the railing on the other side, and his back snaps. That was the first one. That was the one that made me go, oh! Did not see that coming. And then the second one, which is my coolest kill, was when he was in the 1v1 against the dude. He'd just thrown a guy through a door, so the door's all sharp and jagged at the bottom, and he grabs the dude's head, jumps backwards and slams his throat on the shards of the door. Fucking
I don't even
terrible.
think he meant to either, because
I don't think he did either.
when the dude was bleeding out, he was kind of like, "Holy shit!" He was kind of
Shit.
he was like, "Damn!" Like,
Yeah.
he was
that's
honestly kind of like sorry. He was like, "Oof, damn,
that's
dude."
a brutal way to go out, man. Sorry about that.
Whatever, though. Sick as
He just
fuck.
wanted to slam his fucking head on the ground, you know? And that was one of the funniest things at the end fight, too, whenever Mad Dog would get his hands on Rama's brother and just, like, slam his head on the ground over and over.
Oh, my God.
And that was just his tactic for
had
him.
a knife in his neck, and I think his strategy was just like, well, I got to do as much damage as I can before I go. Because, like, not much you can do after you got a knife in your, like, carotid artery, you know? I don't, like, say you go to a hospital. I mean, like, you would have to go to a hospital with it still in before you bleed out internally, which is...
And then the way they finish it off, just...
Oh, yeah, just, man. Just ripped. Yeah, and full there. Imagine that on a movies, like in a movie theater. Just
yeah, that's got to be big and graphic and terrible. Yeah, no, so like, that's what this movie brings to the table. That is like, if that is your shit, if you like bloody, fucked up action, this has it and a lot of it.
They're not afraid to kill kids either.
Fuck me, man. That was...
Whoa. I was like, that's why that dude is the worst. Like, oh my God, Lieutenant, whatever the fuck. I don't care what your name is. I would rather not know.
Terrible.
Like, yeah, it's just like I did what was necessary. Oh, really?
Because they all found out anyway. You fucking idiot. He made it through that door. It was over. You are a fucked up piece of shit.
You know, God, I feel so bad for saying it because I hate every ounce of that dude. God damn it, was it a good shot? You know, like through the door, he couldn't even see him. He had to guess where he was, and then he just fucking one bullet, one tap. God, why did it have to be like a cool slow motion? You know, the camera tracked and the kid's reaction, like it was actually shot.
It was a well done, like, and that's what's cool about this movie is that it is well done. You know, like it's well shot. It looked like one of my favorite shots in the movie is I love some of the suspense building they do when it does slow down during the times whenever the cops are hiding.
Oh,
that's the best, bro.
Ooh,
that's the
when they're
best
going
parts
like
of
room
this
to
movie.
room, and then like the dude's like he finds the weakest spot, and he's like, "Just give me the axe!" Boom, 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 and then like then all the holes are there, and then like they have to go quiet. It's like, you know, that and like the explosions happened, you know, or whatever, and then they know guys are coming to check it out, so they have to be like quiet, and they escape at the last second, you know, like those guys get through the hole, and I don't know, the other guys escape through the hallway or wherever they went.
Dude, like it's just
sick.
And like it's towards the beginning whenever like it's after the kids made it, and it's like he hits the intercom and is like, "Police!" It's after that the lights go down and they are in the hallway just like sitting perfectly still, not making a fucking movement because there are 4 gunmen above them. But it's dark. They can't see. And then someone tries to open the door, and they do the slow motion fire of one bullet. It lights them up. And then they cut to what might be my favorite shot in the movie, which is from the muzzle flare, the shadows of the 4 gunmen above them on the wall. So fucking cool. So, like, again, this movie is loaded with dope fucking stuff. Like, it is cool as shit. The one thing that it doesn't really have going for it is that, like, we spend an absurd amount of time not cool with either side. The whole movie, really. Yeah, I don't like either of them. I don't like either fucking... They're just killing each other. And it's like, cool. Sure. That's like, and
And he
I wouldn't even
really
say that that's a huge flaw of the movie. It's a flaw of storytelling, which I don't think was the emphasis of this movie. I think they did I think they did everything they wanted to. It's just that, like, you have the one guy you're rooting for. And even then, you're not even, like, super rooting for him. You slowly start to root for him a little more as he protects his guys, and he does that. But
you don't
even
really
then,
care.
like,
You don't.
if he died, I'd just kind of been like, oh, well, then what are we doing here? You know, like, I wouldn't have been like, oh, no, why him? You know, I'd have been like, well, then what the fuck is the point? You know, like, that kind of would have been how I felt.
That's why Lieutenant fucking asshole just popping him right there just made. I was like, what? I'm like, like how you could. He was already the most hateable guy, and then you kill the only guy that I care about a little bit in the movie, you know, and then it's just like, okay, like, yeah, it was weird. I think the story, like, but they tried a little bit, like some of it was there, like I think it's, you know, him remembering his pregnant wife and everything is reminiscent of like John Wick, you know, just picking up the photo and putting it back and locking in, you know, sort of thing. But just like easy picking, you know, that's just
no. I mean,
there,
like,
but...
I think they do the bare minimum to push the story forward. Like, I think they try their best. Like, I think they try their best to do the bare minimum, which is why I think that this is impressive. You know, like, I don't think it was like they were like, man, this story's gonna hit. I think they were like, well, fuck, we gotta put something in there. You know, like, I don't even think it was like, I don't think it was the first fucking idea. Like, I'd be willing to bet they shot a bunch of the action scenes and then did all of the story after. And were like,
I mean, when you
motivations
think about it,
yeah,
it is just a bunch of hallways in like rooms that all look the same. Like, they're just on a set. Like, it is just a set of one hallway or two in a few rooms, and they're just fighting. Like, I wonder if the million is just going to paint all of the people. Like,
they did shoot in a real building.
Oh, okay.
So there's a chance that the building cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. I guess they're not like, there's not so much gunfire. Like, there's not like the crazy debris damage like in
that Hard Boiled had.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, that's a different league. Yeah, this is it's darker. You know, it's really dark. The power goes out eventually. You know, and then it is dark for a while. And just...
I mean, I was watching the credits. For as small and intimate a setting this is, there are so many people in it. Like, the name scrolling, I was like, holy fucking shit. Because they make it to a new floor, wipe out 50 fucking guys. They go to a new floor, wipe out 50 fucking guys. They go to a new floor, wipe out 50 They didn't reuse anybody. It was like guys on this floor, guys on this floor, guys on this floor, guys on this floor. And it was like, and I was like, holy shit. So, like, they did have to pay a lot of fucking people, and they had to pay a lot of people to do really impressive and difficult stunt work. So, like, I'm sure a ton of that budget went towards the people working on this movie.
Honestly, was this just like a way to pay a bunch of stunt people? Like, it's like, hey, they're really undervalued. Let's just make a movie where a shit ton of people fight, and we can pay all of you. I have $1 million. Let's do it. Yeah, right. And then they get signed on for a second one, and they're like, let's go. I have 4.5 to work with. Let's go. Let's make a better one. I'm not mad anymore. I wasn't mad to begin with. You know, I was just like a little disappointed, like with the story. I was expecting a little bit more. But
I mean, like, when it comes to what's this, our fourth movie so far, Akira, Die Hard, Hard Boiled, and this, far and away the worst story. Like, not even close to being on par with any of those three. And its best comparison, funny enough, is Die Hard. One of the best, like, it occurred to me while I was watching this, and it was early in the movie, so it was still when there was like 20 cops or whatever. I was like, this is a problem. I was like,
Cops.
well, and not just that, but like,
it's gotta
they
be.
are supposed to be the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
There's 20 of them. I don't give a fuck. You know, like if there's 5 of them, maybe I give a shit. Maybe I'm like, oh damn, this is cool. This is a secret ops. You know, like it's intimate, it's small. They're going in. They know they might not come out. So like,
okay, I see.
the way that the lieutenant like manipulates them and it went in without telling anybody. That like his bosses don't even know they're on this mission. Like, there's a lot of like cool little details that justify the amount of people that are there. But I think even tweaking it to being like, adding a little bit more, like just a little bit more backstory where like maybe they're not cops. Maybe they are just 5 dudes. Like, we're talking about a ton of like, apparently this is a building of criminals and that's all it is.
Yeah.
So like,
and like, I'm a little confused as to what this landlord boss guy is. This
does.
Yeah, like, is this...
Like, at the beginning, they're legitimately like, this guy's putting up all the worst scum in the city. Let's take him down, you know? Like, it's like, what?
But he popped, literally in his office, he put a little tarp down, he popped 4 people in the head, and he's like, oh, I'm out of bullets, put
then
the
he
gun
kills
on
the
your
last
shoulder.
guy with the back of a hammer.
Yeah, you know, like, okay, so the dude sucks. Like, the dude, yeah, dude.
Why does he suck, though? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. But it also seems like he's probably giving better deals to these people for you know, their rent and stuff, and it seems that like he's giving a man who has a sick wife that has to pay for a lot of medicine, you know, and or I don't know, maybe it's like I will look the other way for a lot of things, you know, sort of thing. And so it's like, well, that's kind of cool, you know, that there's cool people living here. It seems that there's innocent people living there. They're not all like criminals, you know. Maybe that one dude's the only chill guy because everyone else comes out of the room ready to get that free rent, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Wouldn't you? I mean,
yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough. I might just...
Well, I'm like, well, why am I there in the first place? You know, like, if I am one of these dudes,
this is sick.
And that's
this is
an
like
opportunity
Squid Game,
I have,
dude.
yeah,
And you're on
like,
the fucking inside. Yeah,
it's
I
like,
mean,
fuck it, yeah, like,
and everyone's just got machetes and guns ready. I mean, I love that there is just a firing squad ready on that ledge. Like, the announcement is made, and it is just
they're
okay.
like, fucking line up, boys.
And,
yeah, like,
and the cops
they take out
too,
like
they knew they were
I
like,
think there is only 20 cops. I'm pretty sure those 4 dudes took out like 7 right there. Like, they immediately dwindled that number down like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then only like one of them died up there, and then it took like 5 minutes to get the next one, you know, and like they were doing pretty good. They were doing pretty good up there. Yeah, it was. I mean, they
had the numbers. Home turf
too.
Like,
that's where they are. A lot of druggies though living there. I love it. That was an interesting, you know, a dude just shit his pants, so just drugged out, just didn't even know, you know. That's kind of nuts. That's not a thought that runs through my mind that you could be that drugged out, dude. That's like,
no. And that was like, there were some of them that were interesting, like on the cop side of things. Like, I liked the way that Jaka and Rama refused, and at the beginning of the movie, refused to shoot unless they were shot at, which was cool. I thought that was a cool detail. Like, they wouldn't try to do anything unless something was tried to be done against them, which I was like, principally cool, good shit. Obviously that evolves over the course of the movie when they realize everybody is trying to fucking get them. But there was one of my absolute favorite shots in the movie is that one big enforcer guy. They go to like the doctor's room and they have to hide in the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's that shot overhead of them on one side of the wall and him like inside the wall and him on the, like, again,
man,
there's
now that
all
you say
sorts
it,
of really cool
now that
shit
you
in this
say
movie.
it, man. Yeah, you're right. It's like, it's a weird, I don't know even how I'm gonna rate it. Like, it is a weird Where the hell does it
I know
stand?
$1 million is a lot of money, but for a movie like this, that's a micro budget. Like, that is not a lot of money to pull something like this off.
That's
it's so that's why, like, I want to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. You know, like, I'm like, yes, the story's lackluster. It's hardly there. It's paper thin. They're basically just doing everything they can to make a really cool, hyper stylized action film. And it paid off for me. You know, like, I had a good time watching it. Like I said, I'm not itching to watch it again, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future I'm like, I'm hanging out with friends, they're like, let's watch a fucking action flick. I'm like, well, I have The Raid. You want to watch The Raid? It's pretty cool. I have a version of I have the unrated Blu-ray, and you can go to like the settings, and it's like one of the options is music, and I clicked on the music, and it was like original music or music by Linkin Park, and I was like, of course this is a Linkin Park ass movie.
It's like a meme. That's a meme that people do, is like, imagine, you know, what a song or what Endgame would end like if it was in 2006.
Oppenheimer with the fucking the Linkin Park mix.
Oh my god!
But I did not watch it that way. I watched it with the original music because I knew I'd be thinking about that meme the whole time I watched it. If I watched it with the Linkin Park music, so
oh my god! At the end,
restraint.
It fits, and like imagine the song,
the slow motion, and it just fits, and it like slams down, the title card pops up, and I could just
like the end of Transformers.
When I watch it again,
that song
if I watch it again, I will be watching with the Linkin Park music.
That would make it honestly an interesting watch. I'm not gonna lie. I
was kind of disappointed because I watched with the original music and I expected it to be like prevalent. There's like hardly any fucking music in this.
Yeah.
I was like, I might as well have watched the Linkin Park version.
Mm-hmm. Some dubstep in there for a little bit, which was interesting. That was the only music I remember. I would have definitely remembered Linkin Park though. That's hilarious. Right. That is like, that's honestly funny. Like, why? Why do they have that as an option for the? Is that like the official?
Well, it was like one member of Linkin Park. So it wasn't the band Linkin Park. It was just that one guy in Linkin Park decided to make a score for this movie also. I mean, it was an official release. It's a part of the fucking...
Okay. So
Damn. I'm like, hey, man. I'm guessing it's an option with the unrated Blu-ray version. Like, that's probably the only way you can watch the Linkin Park cut.
That's incredible. I was on Facebook Marketplace and I saw Steelbook for The Raid, going for $10 for each Steelbook. I don't know. I was thinking about it, but I didn't think my first Steelbook of my life
probably not going to be The Raid.
Would be The Raid. No offense, you know, I'm very impressed.
I've got three. I've got 3 Steelbooks, and I love all the movies I have. I have the Big Lebowski, I have Gladiator, and I have The Wolf of Wall Street.
That's nice.
Pretty good little Steelbook thing there. I mean, those are typically fucking expensive. So that was the other thing, is that if you find a $10 Steelbook, might not be the worst decision in the world.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of other ones there, but The Raid just caught my eye because we were covering it very, very soon, and I was like, I guess, do I pull the trigger? No. And yeah, you know, I do think this might make the physical tier. It's close. It's close if I like want to buy this or not to like have. It would be a cool, nice Blu-ray to have.
That's the thing,
though.
is that most of the time, most movies are gonna fall under that banner. You know, because it's just cool to have a lot of movies on hand. You know, like I like now that I'm like, yeah, I have The Raid. You know, like sure. You know, so like that's one of those things where like it's more a measure of how bad a movie is if you decide you do not want to own it. Because I even own some pretty shitty fucking movies, you know, like but I have them, you know, like it's one of those things.
I guess maybe the more important tier is like, do I have the urge to go
to
up
buy
to
it.
4K, or up to like a Steelbook or a Criterion. If
Right.
I have those urges, I feel like that's a different tier.
Do I have to own it? Do I want to own it? Could I own it, or I won't own it? Like kind of that. Like
I refuse to own it.
I refuse to own this.
Okay, that was also funny because in this marketplace ad, a Steelbook of Morbius. That is just hilarious. I mean, I would buy it for the meme alone. I think I would buy it, never play it. If it was sealed, that's the only way I would buy it, and then like seal it even more. I would I would never allow it to be opened. It
burn the edges so they meld together.
Yes, it can never be played. This is it. It is. I am preserving it to never be. I guess to break it would be better, but like I think it'd just be funny to have an unbreakable box. Yeah, just
you have to bury
in a time
it
capsule.
And then in hundreds and hundreds of years, when civilization is devastated, one day they will find the sealed off 4K Steelbook of Morbius.
Okay. Maybe I would hate for that to be the only thing that they would know that came from us. We'd have to put one other movie, and it has to be the greatest movie we've ever made. We have to select the greatest. And Morbius, sure as shit, it might be the worst. I don't know. So I at least for the meme, I think it's hilarious. But yeah,
have it.
I don't know what the other one would be. The goated movie, that would be up for debate. But
yeah, we're gonna have to cue the noise on that one. But it was ultimately, I'm glad I have it. It's one of those. I'm glad I have the Raid. Because it's not one I doubt I'll ever seek it out, I doubt I'll ever be like, oh, I gotta watch the Raid. But one night, eventually, I'll be like, God, I don't know what to watch. What do I want to watch? I usually go to my physicals whenever I have one of those nights, and I just pick something. I will pick the Raid again. One day. It will happen.
Yeah. I feel like I'm definitely more urgent to go to number 2 first, but then I think eventually I'll come back. I don't know why.
And like I said, I've heard Raid 2 is fucking good. So that might be the one to check out. But yeah, I mean, like, deadass, I have like nothing else to say about
that.
That
is kind of it. I mean, I guess. Just to solidify favorites down in there, I did go with Mad Dog for my character too. Man, I guess you went. I don't know if you said your performance yet, but just to switch it up and spread the love, I'll go ahead and give him the performance as well.
Well deserving.
Yeah,
well
dude loved to fight, and he made it clear that he was good at it. So I assume that translates to real life because that was real life. And so yeah, I gave him the double nod, I guess, from me. The coolest kill, I thought it was really funny. I went in the exact order that you said them. I typed in the threw over the staircase, crack back,
right.
And then as I'm finishing that one, I see, I see the doorway one happen, and then I'm like, oh well, gotta change that real quick, And then I was like, okay, maybe Mad Dog's death, just the night, like, and also he kind of did like a, like, I don't know, like a fucking, Rama let him have it at the end there. I don't know, just gave him like 500 punches in the span of 2 seconds, but and then the knife, slice. Yeah, it was brutal.
Got his ass.
Brutal. But yeah,
that series of deaths though definitely are the standouts.
Ooh.
I mean,
that was, I don't know, very, very brutal. But
I loved when Rama tackled the dude out the window and like carried him all the way down the fucking fire escape. Like that was super cool.
Yeah. Oh man, and just
I mean, talk about fast travel. All of a sudden, 4 floors lower and
the people that
away
live
from all
there,
the enemies.
Yeah, the people that live there too were like, what the. But where did
so there are people in this building that are still like, what the fuck's going on?
Maybe it's
there,
a
man?
continental situation. Maybe you got to be in. He's on floor 15.
Right.
He's up at that's like penthouse level. I don't know how many floors this building has. That's the tippy top, probably.
It's actually literally the tagline. It actually has it's like 20 agents, something else, 30 floors or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. I'm gonna find it real quick. What's the tagline? One ruthless crime lord, 20 elite cops, 30 floors of hell.
It literally is just like a cube of a building, just a rectangular, just a perfect, like the poster. It's just hilarious how just stereotypical skyscraper. And yeah, it was. It really was.
I mean, like, I had a good fucking time, man. I had a good time, and that's kind of all I can say about it. But yeah, I mean, like, I will. My favorite shot, aesthetically, was probably the aerial shot of them inside the wall and him on the other side. I thought that shot was super, super well done. But the shot I ended up going with was just like, oh, like it made me do that, and it was just really cool practical effects work. And it's when they are shooting through the windshield of the armored truck out front, and you watch the blood spatter on it as they're firing at it. I was like, that's really cool.
That was a nice effect. Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah, I felt bad for that passenger. Yeah, the driver had a quick, he didn't even know it was coming.
One tap.
Boom.
Yeah.
Just, that'd be nice. If I got to go out in this situation.
I got to get shot.
That guy had it pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that poor passenger just, yeah. I don't know how long he lived, but got a couple bullets.
Several bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, the blood spat. They hung on that shot I'm talking about for like 5 seconds, and then they cut inside the vehicle, and he was going, he was getting fucking loaded.
They knew he was dead, and they're like, all right, fuck it, whatever, we're out here. There's no one else going to be out here. This is all the action we're going to get all day. Boom. Fuck the police, I guess, and
there was there was another really cool one whenever the two snipers shot two cops that were standing by, and then one of them didn't die, and he was like, no, let him scream, someone will come to the window. And then he killed the guy in the window, and I was like, oh, that was fucking
the
pimp.
way the dude just slid down the window to the dude that died.
And
he just
it was like his visor.
Yeah,
so again, the practical effects work where the fucking squib,
that was sick, and his goggles filled up with blood.
So cool.
Yeah, his goggle filled up with blood first, and then it poured out, and then he just leaned up against the window, and then the people were looked at him. They're like, wait. Is he? Is he? And then they were like, oh, no,
he's dead.
That dude, yeah.
And then his homie runs over. He's like, oh, buddy, wait. Oh, God. No, my boy. Where'd you go? And then the other guy picks up a machete, dislocates his shoulders first, gets out of his restraints, picks up a machete, and then presumably hacks that guy. So, there is all sorts of shit in this movie that is really fucking cool. Yeah. So if you're just looking for some really dope ass action, you literally have to look no further.
Yeah. No.
This movie is pretty much nothing but that.
Yeah. Creative uses of it. Now that we've just listed examples, my favorite shot was after the holes are in the ground, there's someone jumps down, but the camera actually jumps through the hole too. You see the person go down, and then the camera goes down, and then is immediately in the next room, and you see what's going on. It was, I don't know, it was just technically impressive.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. One of the early shots, when they arrive at the building, it's an aerial shot of the truck pulling up, the doors opening, guys getting out, and the camera comes all the way down.
Yeah.
It shows them getting out, and then it follows them all the way into the building. It's a very long take. It was really cool. I was
even on the street and the sidewalk go in there.
Yes,
wow.
Yes. So that's why I was as much as I'm not a huge fucking fan of the movie, I had a great time. I thought it was technically well done.
It just fits.
And what else do I want out of a movie? It just fits. It just fits. So I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, yeah. The only other lines I was thinking about going with were the landlord boss guy. Whenever he went over the intercom and said free rent at the end, he was like, and make sure you enjoy yourselves. And he just said it
Yeah.
very like sinister. Like, I don't know. I thought it was just the delivery was cool. But the line I will go with, I believe this is Rama, but talking to coward fucking piece of shit dude. He says, men change their mind with a gun to their head. And then the guy says, well, we don't have a gun. And he says, a knife, a chair leg, your bare hands, anything, whatever you have to do to make him ours. And I was just like, okay, shit. Like, yeah, like straight up just told it to him. I think I might have put it in there too, because it was just like a time where someone attacked coward boy, and it was nice. It was nice just to put him down. God, man, I wanted a very, very brutal death for him.
Yeah, that's one of the only disappointing things is that, like, I can't tell if he's, like, is the idea that they're carrying him out so he'll get the justice he deserves sort of thing? Is that, like, what they're going for? Because we're looking at a hyper-violent movie.
And
if there's a character who deserves a hyper-violent end, it's that guy.
His goal, like, was to climb in the crime ranks, not necessarily the police ranks, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then, but he was gonna.
It was like almost to prove he could do it, not.
Yeah.
His whole motivation thing was unclear to me.
And then whenever he got, whenever landlord dude said that to him, he was like, so this is your bright idea to capture me and expect them to be like, oh yeah, you're in, buddy, and actually promotion. Good job.
Yeah.
Look at what you did. You killed so many of our people for no reason, and police. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, well, that's good. That's good that the whole mission actually didn't make sense from the start, and it was just a suicide mission. This dude just signed up these 20 police officers to just die. Why not make it like a SEAL Team 6 operation? I don't know. Make this dude a freaking just absolute evil man that no one can touch, and we need some special ops, martial artists, skilled dudes, and there you go. Then it's just inherently interesting then. I don't know.
I mean, like, and
Go
even beyond that, like, what if the lieutenant isn't a lieutenant, but he's a rival crime lord? And these dudes are his assassins, and that's why they're dope. Like that.
He wants the camera room. Make that camera room, like, way more important somehow. Like, control over this building. If you have control, you just...
Power over spice is power over all.
Exactly.
Like that whole thing.
Yeah. But, it's okay. The action was great, and it looked good. So, like, as far as a movie is concerned... story is pretty big, but...
No, I mean... Well, and that's the thing, is I think story is big, like...
When you're trying to go for it?
Yeah, like when Last Night in Soho earlier this week. The reason we were so harsh on it for its story is because the story was critically fucking important to the movie. The story essentially means nothing here. And I think that they didn't give a fuck about it. So, like, the story, I mean, like, because they don't give a fuck about it, it does affect it. But it doesn't affect it as much as them trying and it failing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is weird that you need to do that in the first place, though.
Yeah, and that's why it will be affected. It will be affected by it. Mm-hmm. It's just not like I would feel substantially worse about this movie if I felt like they tried really hard on the story side and it turned out like this.
I see.
I feel like it was like an afterthought almost, and that's
they just set out to do some.
That
cool
is
shit.
A problem. Yeah, that is a problem. That's but it's a different problem than them doing it badly. Because again, the story is extremely simple. The story itself that they set up terrible. It's just that like the writing isn't nearly deep enough for me to get any of it. So like,
yeah. And and language barrier, also might be doing something there. Reading subtitles a lot.
I mean, maybe, like there was that one scene with Rama and his brother where he's like, I'm about to be like, I came here to save you. Like, that's why he's there. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
I came here to get you out.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you bring up the fact that I'm going to be an uncle just to get me out of here. And so like, there are points where they try to anchor it with a little bit of something.
And it's just enough to keep you in. I think that's the point.
It's just enough to keep you there.
And they're like, all right, let's do as much action as we can, as little story as we can.
And it's actually a pretty cool setup for a sequel in terms of the relationship between his brother and him. I'm assuming his brother's in the next one, and he's still in the crime ring.
Yeah, who's going to run it now? Who's like taking up the Continental?
Because he seemed to be kind of second or third behind that.
He was given orders at the end. Open up the gate, and the guys listen to him, immediately without question. So
yeah, I'm like, Mad Dog's dead, Landlord's dead. Maybe he's the head honcho now. So like, that's where I'm like, it's just enough to make me think it was cool. Like, if it was truly just we're going in a building, people will die, then I mean, like, yeah, but there's just enough there to keep me in it. So hey, we'll see how it does in the rating here after these plugs. And then after the plugs and after the rating, we will also, it's Friday, baby. It's time for an album of the week. Me and Joe will both have an album for you. I'm excited for the one I have today. But before that, if you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 100 hours of exclusive content. All sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and early access content. For $1.50 a month, you can have access to all of it. Literally, if you were just on it for 1 month, you just slid us $1.50, and you would have access to all sorts of shit that literally our Patreon has never grown that much. Literally only max 5 people have ever had access to. So there's that. Joe's never even heard some of the content we have over there. He's just done the content. So $1.50 a month, patreon.com/PennyBloomPod. There for you. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram and TikTok at PennyBloomPodcast. I guess we officially have about 8 months left there.
Yeah, put it to term, a 9-month baby. You gotta just, it's very weird.
Yeah, but I don't feel good about it. But, yeah, 8 months left there. We're going to make the most of it. We're going to keep pumping out content, trying to grow the pod as much as we can. And it'll be over there, TikTok at Penny Bloom Podcast. You can watch on YouTube. Look up Penny Bloom Podcast. You can see what I got going on. I got a nice little album on display today. We're recording about 3 weeks in advance of when the episodes come out. Tupac's estate just filed a lawsuit against Drake for they're potentially going to file a lawsuit against Drake for the use of his voice in the AI diss he used against Kendrick Lamar. So I'm with that estate, baby. Fuck Drake. That was such a weak ass move.
That wasn't cleared.
No,
his team.
No. Because there's no AI laws. That's the thing, is that Tupac's estate can't. I don't think they really have ground to stand on. There's nothing that protects that right now.
Maybe this was to set precedent.
And I'm hoping it does. I hope it does. That's my
shit.
hope.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm hoping it sets a fucking precedent. I hope they take Drizzy's ass to the fucking bank. But yeah, Tupac, baby. Love that.
Give me $50 billion, Drake. 50 billion,
But you're putting words in a dead man's mouth.
And Snoop Dogg, was that even him either? That was apparently AI as well.
That was AI too. Like, if you can't get Snoop on your fucking track, guess what? Snoop doesn't fucking think that. Are you a fucking idiot? So sorry sorry to get off on the tangent. That's like 3 weeks old now, 4 weeks
True.
old now.
We
that
might
you're
be
listening
so
to this.
late. Yeah, like Drake could be in jail or some shit by now. Who knows? Like, what the fuck's gonna go on? We don't know.
I mean, they'll probably just take a few $1 million. But yeah. So YouTube, you can watch Penny Bloom Podcast. And actually, if you were on Patreon, that conversation would have been relevant because it's early access.
Mm-hmm.
It was out when that stuff was going on. So, hey, there's another little sell for you. Stuff we talk about will be relevant if you pay for it. Yeah, that's YouTube. Check it out. Leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and download the episodes. And do me one little favor: if you liked the show, share with one person. Tell one person you liked the show. Tell them, hey, these Penny Bloom Podcast guys, they're kind of cool. I like listening to them. They seem like good guys. We've been told that we sound attractive. I like hearing that, you know?
Thank you, whoever.
Yeah, exactly. Ladies, men, anybody.
Whoever.
If you think we sound attractive, tune in. Why not? And if you think somebody else will think we sound attractive, send it their way. One person. But yeah. Let's rate this thing. How are we feeling? Scale of 1 to 10, enjoyment-wise. I can't take this super high. I can take it 7s, though.
It's good.
I like it. Yeah. I don't love it.
It's like 7, you know?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm like,
that's the threshold for being good. It's good.
Like we said, it's just enough for me to like it. It's just enough for it to be solid. You know, like it's just enough. So like 7 feels right to me. I'm like, yeah.
Maybe
I like it.
Just a 7? Yeah. Just a 7. I mean, yeah.
What did we give Akira a few weeks back? I know that's the low point right now.
A 7.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I like Akira a little more than I like the Raid. But it's negligible. I'm gonna throw it at 7. I'm comfortable with a 7.
Yeah. And Akira also got an 8.5 critically, and I don't think this is gonna be an 8.5. So, yeah. I think that's okay. That it ties.
Evening it out there. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, again, I think that it's technically well done. The stunts and stuff are very, very good. There's all sorts of stuff to like here. Performances are mostly stunt work. You know? And in that regard, they're well done.
No complaints there.
Yeah, I'm like, so this is the tougher rating, the critical evaluation of it. I feel like I almost want to level it out. I almost feel like I want to just go 7s across the board because I do think it's solid. I think it hits the threat. Does it hit the threshold of being a good movie? Do you feel like you can say that?
It's either a 6.75 or a 7. I feel like.
Okay.
I don't think it's not on the other end. You know, it's not a 7 or a 7.25. I think it's
7 or lower.
It's either,
that 7
it's
is
either
its
good
ceiling.
Or the lackluster story is what just is barely not enough to make it good. And you know, I guess we can see how the average would play out.
Like
a 6.75
would be a
7.
Yeah,
that is a 7. That's easy. Thank you. But the other way is a 6.83. So, you know, 17% difference there.
Oh, 0.17% difference there. I was like,
yes.
I went, what the fuck?
I guess
anybody watching watched me do the math in my head. I went
from it, yes, 0.83. I have the Excel sheet. I work off not a percentage for the people that can't see that. So yeah, that's where my math came from. But I don't know. I think maybe the benefit of the, we said like we'd like to give it the benefit of the doubt for it like setting out, like they didn't.
I think it did exactly what it meant to do.
Yeah.
So I think it deserves that 7. I
Yeah.
think it deserves it. It is good. It is good at what it wants to be. And with that being 7s across the board, a 7 out of 10, that's a pretty good fucking movie, man. That's a pretty good fucking movie.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
I'll return
not
eventually.
Bad at all.
Eventually, I'll come back
At some point.
I'll go to your younger brother, sister. I don't know. It's a weird way to call it a sequel. I'll go to the sequel first, I think.
Oh, right, right, yeah.
Older brother, younger. It's
No,
like
younger. It's a newer movie.
Newer, so
it's got to be younger. But no, I get what you're saying. Like 2 is bigger than 1, so is older the right way to go? No, I get you. I get where you're coming from. But yeah, 7 out of 10, 70% there. Not bad, not bad. Fared about as well as I thought it would. It's actually got a 4 on Letterboxd, which is kind of an insane.
Thought you were saying IMDb. I was like, what?
No, but Letterboxd, if you break the 4 threshold, that's pretty fucking nuts. And then on IMDb, it has a 7.6. So we're a little harsher than both of those avenues. But yeah, I feel good about it. And with that, we will do the album of the week. Would you like to kick us off? What is your album of the week, Joe?
I'm much more confident in it this week. I was gonna go with it maybe last week, but no. It is from Electric Light Orchestra, and the album is All Over the World, the very best of Electric Light Orchestra. The one that starts with Mr. Blue Sky is track number 1. And then I didn't realize how many other tracks in there that I just knew already. They did stack a lot of them at the beginning, I guess, and maybe that's why. But Evil Woman, Don't Bring Me Down, Shine a Little Love were songs that I just knew. And maybe, I don't know, I feel like maybe this is an album that we did have at some point, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I scoured the house to try to have a visual, but I did not. But Love was introduced to Mr. Blue Sky, I believe, through Guardians of the Galaxy. Was kind of what put me on, but I've always been a fan, of that era.
Yeah.
And
sun is shining in the sky.
There
ain't a cloud in the sky.
They're like a Daft Punk little bit sometimes, and then they're like David Bowie.
Probably a very
like
large influence
Queen.
on Daft
They're
Punk.
like, I don't know. I see a lot. I hear a lot of different people and different sounds through them, and I love just their I don't know, they're very techno. At least this album is definitely very techno, but I'd imagine the Electric Light Orchestra, I don't know. I'm gonna
a little electric.
I'm gonna be listening to a lot more of their music now after this album.
Yeah, that's a nice little that's a nice compilation album. I love, I'm a big I think best of albums are a little slept on,
It's a like, gray area. It's like you're not getting the full experience of the album that the artist wanted, but then you're getting the best of the artist, I guess, that's why a lot of the big tracks that I know were right at the top. Hello, that makes sense now.
Yes, indeed.
But
no, I think that's a good choice. I like me some Mr. Blue Sky specifically. I haven't dug into Electric Light Orchestra nearly as much as I would like to. I think I listened to their album Out of the Blue.
I think that is where it comes
years
from.
ago.
Is that
that's where Mr. Blue Sky is
OG?
from? Yes, yes, that is the one Mr. Blue Sky is from.
Is.
But it didn't have any of the other tracks you mentioned by name. I don't believe. Yeah, no, that's a good choice. I'm also going a throwback for me, and I mean, like your compilation album was released in 1973, which is like,
oh wow, wait, the compilation was released in 1970. That's crazy.
At least that's what it says. It says 1973. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Were they like a 60s group?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because Mr. Blue Sky didn't come out till like 1977. So I don't know what the fuck. Spotify's got that mislabeled.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe not. But regardless, A good choice. I'm also going with a throwback. Mine's a 60s album, specifically 1960. This is where I have At Last by Etta James, which you will recognize via the titular track, At Last. If you listen to it, you will immediately recognize that song. Starts with a pretty iconic "At last, my love is going on."
Okay.
That one.
It
also
is.
has a Sunday Kind of Love. That's a pretty popular one as well. I mean, just beautiful vocals. Etta James. Like, imagine, if you will, a nice little rainy day, rainy little Sunday, a little day off. You wake up in the morning, you head up into your kitchen, you make you some breakfast, you're getting some coffee brewed, you know. You go to the window, you look outside, and the sun starts to gleam through the clouds a little bit, and you got the coffee in hand, the rain droplets dripping down the window. This is the album that's playing during all of that. That is what At Last by Etta James feels like, and Etta James just has a beautiful voice. My personal favorite song on the album is probably My Dearest Darling. Just an beautiful song, and a beautiful album. So I had to give it some love this week. Loved me some Etta James. Loved me some At Last. So you gotta check that out. But yeah, with that, we will conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. I didn't do any of the what we'll be doing next week things. We got stuff coming. This isn't the last episode. Next week, we are going to be continuing our action movie project with on Monday and Friday, with Sicario being our next episode, and next Friday being RRR. Very, very excited to revisit that one. I've only watched it once. I fucking loved it. 3-hour epic there of action, so I'm super excited to get back to it. But we will also be continuing our Anya Taylor-Joy Spotlight, and we will be coming to our last stop prior to the release of Furiosa, and that is where we will be covering The Menu, starring Ralph Fiennes and Nicholas Hoult, and namely Anya Taylor-Joy. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming your way. Only 3 movies left on the action movie project, 2 left in the Anya Spotlight, all in anticipation of Furiosa, and that'll culminate in 2 weeks when we do our top 10 favorite action flicks of all time. That's going to be a fun one. Super excited for that. So stick with us, and remember, peace, love, and bloom. And it just fits